Root Healthy Plants. Terrence here with Root Healthy Plants. In today's video, I am still air layering. I bought a new tool to help with the air layering process. I just bought a new drill bit right here. In the last video, I started out with these Gatorade containers. I proceeded with these are being already cut. So in this video, I want to show you from the very beginning how I'm processing these. Just for a close-up of the Gatorade containers, I drilled a hole in the top right there. As you can see, it's like a rough drill. I cut these containers, I drilled a hole in the bottom and then cut the rest right here for them to open up how they are. And they just split open like that. This is the last Gatorade container I have. Now I'm gonna use these smoothie containers. None of these are cut, so you're gonna see how I do it from the very beginning. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start by drilling the hole in the top. Let's see how that works. All these tops on, bang, bang, boom. We're gonna test out these 8 containers. So I'm gonna start with my drill bit. First time trying it. We're gonna go right in the middle with it. There. The hole is a little bit less rough than the hole from the other drill bit that it took me a lot longer to make. But did its job. Let's see how well it drills a hole in the bottom. I'm gonna turn up the speed and I'm gonna turn it in the right direction. Let's see how quick. Whoa! We gotta turn the speed down real slow with it. We made 2 holes, but the main hole in the middle is what we're really focused on, and we can salvage this container. Let's see how quickly we get through the rest of these. I put a little divot in there with that center sharp piece and then go slow from the very beginning. Oh, dang, that was easy. Ooh, that ate through there. I had to hold it in place. Let's go to the bottom. I like that. I want to see how quickly I get through this. This is making quicker work of putting holes in this than it did the last time. It was about 10 bucks for this drill bit. Oh, I'm not looking for perfection. I'm just looking to get the job done. Let's hit that little pointer piece right there so that it stabilizes and doesn't slide around. That's 3 down. Let's get to it. I just did another container, hole at the top and a hole at the bottom. As you can see right there, it's just about taking your time with the speed and understanding when you have made a hole on the side of that drill bit, then you can speed it up a little bit to make the best of your time. All right, now that we have holes in the tops and bottom of all 8 of our containers, I'm going to take off the lid, splice that lid right there. We can get it around our tree limb to close off these containers. Then we're also going to cut down from the top of our container. We're just going to make a cut down that whole line. And let's make that last cut into that second hole. Good to go. The goal is to open this up, fill this with peat moss, and put this over our tree limb and have our tree limb sitting in the middle of there like that right there. Coming out this other end like this. We're fitting this top right here, how the top is splits like that. And we're putting that top around our tree limb and just closing that off right there and just putting aluminum foil over this whole thing, crimping it off at the top and then crimping it off at the bottom, and we're done with our air layer. We got all our air layer containers prepped and ready to go. Now it's time to get some more sphagnum peat moss. I'm gonna go put some water in this container. I got some water in my sphagnum peat moss right here. If I shake it around, that's a bit much. I can squeeze some out first. It's better to have too much water than not enough water. We're at a good mixture. There's no more loose liquid. And you can see right here, it's not dripping. I can still squeeze some out. That's exactly what I want. We're doing the prep work first, and then just popping this container over the tree limb and filling it and finishing off with the aluminum foil and potentially the rooting hormone, if you feel the need to do so, if you so choose to. I want to make sure these are filled up first. I'm doing it this way because I see which way is just going to make more sense, which way is actually easier, because it's more of a headache to try to sit here and fill it up as it's around the tree limb. It's like, it's a mess. It's a mess. This is easier. This just makes more sense. Put that top back on there so we don't lose that top. 2 down. I said in my last video, how often would I want to check these air layers? I would say maybe every 2 weeks. If you put enough moisture in there, check them, because you don't want to not check them. That was my failure last year. That was why and how I failed last year. So I got my trees to root, but I didn't check them until I was ready to cut the tree limb off. And by that time, they had rooted and dried out, and the roots were no longer alive or viable. You must check them, especially if you're air layering during the dead heat of the midsummer. You got really hot conditions, you gotta check them. I don't care if you check them every week, every 2 weeks, but don't wait too long, because you could have something root and then die. That's counterproductive. You done wasted your time, you done killed the tree limb. You have too much exposed of that inner layer of the tree. If I'm gonna prune a tree, I'd rather prune it by air layering it first and seeing if I can clone that tree and then cutting it off. That's my thinking. Y'all let me know y'all thinking as far as pruning goes. If I'm gonna prune something, I'd rather air layer it, cut it off, and that be my prune, and making good use out of that prune. Y'all let me know. This is just prep work. This is not the air layer. This is air layer prep. Air layer prep 101. Make sure you have enough growing medium. Make sure you know how you're gonna enclose that growing medium. Make sure you know how you're gonna hydrate that medium. Make sure you have something to block the sun from permeating into that growing medium. When you have moisture, when you have nutrients, when you have oxygen, it's just a mixture of really the moisture, the sunlight, the nutrients, the oxygen, and it just creates a breeding ground for moss and fungus to grow. We just want to start this off on a good foot. Last two, let's do it. I think I'm losing sunlight out here. I'm gonna put these in a container with the lids closed so none of the moisture evaporates. And then I'm gonna do the air layers in the morning. The ingredients that I would use for the actual air layer are these filled containers right here, my rooting hormone, which is optional, my really sharp knife to cut off that layer of skin on the tree, and aluminum foil to cover up. That's our prep work. If you got any questions, comments, let me know. Put in the comment section and we can talk about it. Let's start the conversation. I already showed you on my last video before this one how I do my air layer. I'm going to finish air layering the rest of my trees, fruit trees, ornamental trees, you name it. I look forward to talking to you in the comments. Look forward to see you on the next video. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Smash that like button and I'll see you on the next one.